Many dog owners are quick to blame their pets when things go wrong. When a dog barks too much, chews up furniture, growls at guests, or refuses to listen, the reaction is often frustration. People start to say things like, "My dog is stubborn," or "He's just aggressive," or even she's not very smart. But here's the hard truth no one wants to hear. Most of the time, the dog isn't the problem. The real issue, it's the human on the other end of the leash. This video uncovers the uncomfortable reality that a dog's so-called bad behavior is usually caused, or at least made worse, by the owner's actions, habits, or lack of understanding. Backed by dog psychology, training principles, and behavioral research, this video reveals why the way people raise, train, and communicate with dogs can make or break their behavior. And once that's clear, real change becomes possible. Dogs are not born knowing how to live in a human world. They don't come with an instruction manual, and they definitely don't speak English. Their brains are wired for survival, communication through body language, and pack dynamics. This means that barking, chewing, digging, and jumping aren't bad behaviors, they're natural ones. When dogs behave in ways that frustrate humans, it's often because they haven't been taught any better. They're trying to communicate, release energy, or express needs. Unfortunately, most humans misread these signals and respond in ways that confuse or scare the dog, which only makes the behavior worse. A dog's behavior is a mirror of its environment. If a dog is anxious, hyperactive, reactive, or destructive, it's usually responding to something in its surroundings. Lack of structure, unclear expectations, inconsistent rules, or emotional energy from the owner. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to human moods and body language. If a person is nervous, angry, stressed, or inconsistent, the dog will reflect that instability, lack of physical and mental stimulation. One of the most common causes of unwanted behavior is boredom. Many dogs are understimulated. They sit around all day waiting for something to do, and when nothing happens, they find their own way to stay busy, often by doing things humans don't like. For example, a dog that chews the couch cushions might just be desperate for a task or an outlet for energy. A dog that barks at every sound might be alerting because it feels like it has to be on duty all the time. A dog that jumps on guests might just be so thrilled to see someone that it can't control itself. All of these behaviors are signs of a dog that needs more than just food and shelter. Experts agree that physical exercise is not enough. Dogs also need mental challenges. Puzzle toys, scent games, training sessions, and even simple tasks like searching for treats or learning new tricks can make a huge difference. When the brain is engaged, the body calms down. Without this stimulation, frustration builds, and that's when behavior problems begin. Inconsistent training and mixed signals. Dogs thrive on clarity and consistency. Unfortunately, many owners send mixed messages without realizing it. A dog might be allowed on the couch one day, but scolded for it the next. A behavior might be rewarded with treats or attention one moment and punished the next. These contradictions confuse the dog, who no longer understands what's expected. Imagine being in a country where you don't speak the language and the rules keep changing. That's what it feels like for a dog who gets unclear signals. Without consistency, dogs become anxious, disobedient, or even shut down emotionally. They stop trying to please because they don't know how. Professional dog trainers emphasize the importance of timing, tone, and repetition. If a command is given once in a happy voice and next in a frustrated yell, the dog doesn't learn the behavior, it just gets confused. Clear communication, firm boundaries, and repeated practice are the foundation of good behavior. Without them, the dog is set up to fail, reinforcing the wrong behaviors. Sometimes the owner actually rewards the behavior they're trying to stop without realizing it. If a dog barks for attention and the person responds by yelling or pushing the dog away, the dog still gets attention. To the dog, any reaction is better than being ignored. Or take jumping, for example. A dog jumps up to greet someone and that person pets them or talks to them, even if it's just to say no. That's still reinforcement. The dog learns, if I jump, I get a reaction. Dogs repeat behaviors that work for them. If a certain action gets them food, affection, play, or even a scolding, they'll do it again. Owners need to be mindful of what they're rewarding, ignoring unwanted behavior while consistently rewarding calm, polite behavior sends a much clearer message. But again, this takes patience and self awareness, qualities many owners overlook. Poor socialization and fear responses. Many dogs act out because they were never properly socialized. That means they didn't get enough positive experiences with people, dogs, sounds, objects, and environments during their early development stages. As a result, they grow up fearful or reactive to new things. A dog that growls at strangers or snaps at other dogs isn't being bad. It's trying to cope with fear in the only way it knows how. But instead of addressing the fear, many owners punish the reaction, making the dog more anxious. This is why understanding the root cause of behavior is crucial. Socialization isn't just about exposure, it's about positive experiences. A walk through a busy street where the dog is terrified doesn't help, but a calm introduction to new people or sounds paired with treats and praise builds confidence. If this doesn't happen during puppyhood or is done too forcefully, it can lead to fear-based behaviors that seem bad later on. Lack of leadership and structure. Dogs don't need humans to be harsh or dominant, but they do need leadership. That means someone who sets rules, enforces boundaries, and creates routines. Without structure, dogs feel insecure. They start making decisions for themselves, which can lead to chaos. When a dog pulls on the leash, refuses to come when called, or guards its food, it's often because it hasn't learned to follow guidance. The dog is not trying to be the alpha. It's just stepping into the leadership vacuum. Structure helps dogs relax. When they know what to expect and what's expected of them, they stop testing boundaries. Clear rules, consistent routines, and calm confidence from the owner help dogs feel safe. That's when obedience becomes natural, not because of fear, but because of trust. Emotional energy and unstable environments. Dogs absorb human emotions like sponges. If the home is chaotic, tense, or unpredictable, the dog will reflect that energy. A stressed out owner often has a stressed out dog. An anxious person often has an anxious dog. This connection goes deeper than most people realize. Studies have shown that dogs can mirror the cortisol levels, the stress hormone, of their owners. That means if a person is constantly worried, angry, or frustrated, the dog literally feels it in its body. This emotional mirroring can lead to all kinds of behavior problems. A nervous owner might tighten the leash every time another dog approaches, which signals to their own dog that something is wrong. That can lead to reactivity. A frustrated owner might give up on training, which leaves the dog confused and anxious. It's a cycle, but one that can be broken with awareness and emotional self-control, using punishment over positive reinforcement. Many owners still rely on punishment to fix behavior problems. They yell, yank the leash, or use tools like shock collars. But punishment doesn't teach the dog what to do. It only teaches them what not to do, and often in a way that creates fear and mistrust. Modern dog psychology leans heavily toward positive reinforcement. That doesn't mean letting dogs get away with everything. It means using rewards to guide behavior instead of fear to suppress it. Dogs learn faster, trust more deeply, and behave more reliably when training is based on mutual respect rather than intimidation. Punishment might stop a behavior in the short term, but it usually creates new problems. Dogs become afraid to try new things. They shut down emotionally. They may stop misbehaving, but they also stop being joyful. Training should bring out the best in a dog, not scare them into submission. Overfeeding and food-driven misbehavior. One area many owners fail to consider is how food impacts their dog's behavior. Dogs, like humans, can become irritable, sluggish, or overly hyper, depending on what and how much they eat. Overfeeding, free feeding, and offering too many treats can lead to serious behavioral shifts that owners mistake for disobedience. When a dog is overfed or constantly eating snacks, its energy levels may spike uncontrollably. This can result in hyperactivity, inability to focus during training, or destructive behavior. On the other hand, poor quality food, like those high in fillers, sugar, or artificial ingredients, can make dogs lethargic, reactive, or even aggressive over time. Free feeding, where food is always available, can also confuse dogs. Dogs are naturally wired to work for their meals. When meals are earned through obedience or exercise, it taps into their instinct to work and provide structure. Without that structure, food loses its value as a training tool and behavioral motivator. Scheduled feeding and using part of a dog's daily food for training helps reinforce good behavior and control energy levels. Ignoring breed-specific needs. Another common mistake is treating all dogs the same, regardless of breed. Every dog is an individual, but breed matters a lot. Herding breeds, for example, like Border Collies or Australian Shepherds, are bred to think independently and move animals. When their minds and bodies aren't challenged daily, they often turn to chasing, nipping, or obsessive behaviors like circling or barking. Sighthounds may seem calm, but have strong prey drives. Terriers are designed to dig, hunt, and be tenacious. Guardian breeds may not warm up to strangers quickly and need more socialization work than others. When a breed's natural instincts are ignored or punished instead of managed, behavior problems arise. The hard truth is, many people choose a dog based on looks or trends, not based on what they can handle. A high-energy working breed won't magically become a couch potato. If its needs aren't met, it will find other outlets, often ones the owner considers bad behavior. Understanding and respecting breed tendencies is key to building a peaceful home life. No one likes to be told they're doing something wrong. But the reality is, if a dog's behavior is out of control, the first place to look is in the mirror. The person holding the leash sets the tone. The human controls the training, the routine, the emotional environment, and the boundaries. If any of those are off, the dog will show it through behavior. This is not about blame. It's about responsibility. Dogs don't choose where they live or how they're raised. They rely completely on their humans to teach them how to exist in a human world. When that responsibility is taken seriously, dogs thrive. They become calm, focused, obedient, and happy. But when it's ignored, chaos follows. Subscribe for more honest truths about dog behavior, training tips that actually work, and deep dives into what your dog really needs. Don't forget, your dog isn't broken, but your approach might be. Change that, and everything changes.